do you have to do? Copy and paste. For those of you who don't know my story, my name is Willie. I got this opportunity last year, October, as I said, and at the time it was a very dark place in my life. I felt like everything was going wrong. I was living with my girlfriend, Ellen, who's at the back of the room. I was living in the parents' house for about 2 years, living in that single room, and every single day I keep selling the dreams like, one day, baby, we'll get out of here. One day we'll have this nice house. One day. And after trying so many, different ways, after a while you lose credibility. And she was getting to that point where she was like, I don't really know if that one is going to come. And that was at the tipping point. But for me, the final nail in the coffin was, I was playing with my son Jaden on a Sunday around the house. And I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he was very precise. He said to me that he wants to be a dentist. I'm thinking, right, dentist? Like, it's cool, I mean, we need more dentists around, but I'm thinking like, why a dentist? But then, afterwards, I realized the reason why I wanted to be a dentist was because his mom's brother, his uncle, was a dentist. And he used to bring him on all these latest, excursions and buy him all the latest gifts and stuff. And for me, that was the turning point when I realized that, Evans, you gotta do something, because you tell this boy all the things that you want him to do, but he's not listening. He needs to see you do it. So that's when I realized you need to do something. And I said, you know what it is? I draw the line in the sand. I'm like, I go become somebody. And I always say when you pray, God gives you an opportunity, and He gave me an opportunity. I started binging on, all these successful people. I came across Mr. Samuel. I'm like, who's this loud, enthusiastic guy on the YouTube? And I was just drawn into him. I started binging on his videos. I came across Samuel. I came across this, this exact same trend. I came across the eviction. And I said, you know what it is? I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And some of you guys have seen my story, but for those who haven't seen it, in the last 12 months, it's completely changed my life, bro. In the last 12 months alone, I made over £100,000, in property, without even owning any one of them. In the last few months, I've changed from living in my girlfriend's living room to living in a nice fancy apartment in Canary Wharf view in London, got own personal trainer. I now engage my partner. But the most important thing after the last 12 months is now my son. Guess what my son wants to be like now? Guess who he wants to be like now? He wants to be like his dad. And for me, that's the biggest thing. But today, I'm not here to talk about me. Today's about you guys. Some of you guys are viewing for the very first time, and some of you are on the edge. So I just want to just come on and just share 3 of the most important things for me when it comes to rent-to-rent that really just completely uplifted my rent-to-rent career. Are you guys up for that? By any chance? Yeah. Cool. Speaking to an agent, for example, it's a different language to speaking to a landlord. What do I mean? When you speak to a landlord, right, a landlord is used to something like they're used to management agreement. Why? Because it's the same agreement that the estate agents give to them. So they understand management agreement. But also when you speak to an agent, if you use the same terminology, they'll think like you want to replace them. They'll be like, why would I, give you in the same contract above the landlord? So the language is very, very important. Just imagine, right? Just imagine that you go into a bar, right, and you see this hottie, man. This girl's at the bar, and you approach this girl. She's a little bit thick, a little bit in the stomach, and you approach her, and you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. How many months pregnant are you? Can you agree, guys, by a raise of hands, that her right hand is going to end up on your left cheek by some way, shape or form? Can you agree with that? Yeah. Now, can you agree that it doesn't matter how many bars you go to, how many different seas, how many different countries, it doesn't matter what language the girl speaks. As long as you're telling her about how many months she's due, can you agree it's not going to work? Yeah. So that's the reason why when you come to the trade, a lot of people say go for no. You can go for no as much as you want, but if you say the wrong things to the agent and the landlord, you're never going to get a deal. So for those of you coming to the trade, you're going to learn the exact menu, the exact recipe that I learned, the exact word by word to say. Even me, if my Caribbean accent can get deals. If you learn those terminology in rent-to-rent, you're going to kill it. The second thing I need to know, which is very, very important, write this down. This one is very extremely, I think it's the most important one. And if you guys get this one, everything's gonna change for you? Control. What's the word, guys? Control. Man, that's very, very important, man. Control is everything. And what exactly do I mean by control? When you're speaking to anybody, right? Preferably agents or landlords, you need to be in control. Because if you're not in control, you're not in a position to close them. And one of the keys that there is for control is asking questions. And when I first came on the rent-to-rent and the HMO bootcamp, I learned a game. That game, you guys can play this game. This game is absolutely amazing. It's a game called Questions, right? You have to answer every question, but also ask a question at the end of it. And if you're going to control the conversation, that's one of the most important things. Whoever asks, if there's one thing that you guys learned from me today, is that whoever asks the most questions is in control. Very, very, very important, man. The last thing is, which leads to this, if you don't get control, the last one, you're never going to get it right? And this is the most important one out of all of it. Closing, guys. What's the word? Close. You have to close, man. A lot of people are afraid of being closed. You know, they got this misconception about sales and about closing, but everything that you do in life is closing. Like, just imagine, man, like, is anybody in a married or in a relationship? By raise of hands? Alright, so all the single guys look at each other. Just no one raise the hand, so. But if you've got a partner or you've ever had a partner, I presume all of you have, you all have sold to them. Can you guys agree? Yeah. Same thing. So don't expect to go to an agent using the right scripts, asking questions, and you have to close them. You have to close them, and you have to have a specific structure. Like when you get on the phone, your goal is to get into the property. That's your goal. Don't try and close them over the phone. You get in there, you speak to them, you pitch to them, you walk away, but you have to obviously always close them. So that's the three most important things, guys, that for me, when I got started in property, that really just blew everything for me. I came to the trade, I learned what to say. I learned about, asking questions. That changed everything, even at home. I even got a ring on my partner's finger just by getting control. Very, very important. And I learned how to close, right? So that's very, very, very important. What do you have to do? Copy and paste. This is me. You have to copy and paste, guys. One of the quickest ways of me getting here, just copying and paste Samuel is copying and pasting Ricky. I even copy and paste them so much. I copy and paste the way that they walk. I don't wear no jewelry because Samuel don't wear no jewelry. When I meet someone, I don't make this gold chain, right? I copy and paste everything, guys. Copy and paste.
He's doing so good. Like, amazing. First time on stage, killing it.
The last one is, now I say copy and paste. You have to be very selective about who you copy, right? Because if I ask you guys in the room right now, how many of you guys want to be financially free property owners of house? Right? All of you, right? Now, what really frustrates me is that if you ask someone if they want to, if they want to do something, if they want somebody's end result, if they want Samuel's end result, they all say yes. But the biggest frustrating thing for me is that they want his end result, but they're not willing to implement the things that he's doing, that you have to do today to get to where he wants to go to. For me, that's very, very mind-boggling. Never again can you ever honestly tell someone that you never had a chance to become somebody. Because property is for everybody. It's equal. No one cares about your age, your size, your race. We all go through the same training. In January, we're all going to go through the same training. We haven't got one for doctors and one for, no. Everybody comes through the same class. Everybody goes through the same training. And the difference from the winners to the losers, I mean, I don't mean to insult anybody, but the difference between those on the winners on the Wednesday and those that don't do anything and complain is the right knowledge, the right level of belief, copying and pasting, and taking action. And guys, in closing, all I want to say is I really want to thank you guys for taking the opportunity to listening to me, listening to my story, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here today, guys. Thank you so much.